The table itself is made to take a 1/4 inch T-bolt, as you see here, or a 1/4 inch carriage bolt. The fence is made to take either 1/4 or 5/16 T-bolt or carriage bolt. So if you have your own clamp device that you'd like to use, you can just buy a regular carriage bolt at the hardware store and it'll work on this. Okay, clamping. When do you clamp, when don't you clamp? If you have a bit like this and you're drilling in here, I'm not sure you need to clamp. If you have a bit like this and you're drilling into here, I think you need to clamp. And certainly, regardless of what you're drilling, if you're using that, you need to use a clamp. Okay, is there a magic formula? No, I'm sorry, there isn't any magic formula. If you're not sure, ask the mentor. If the mentor is not available, ask the manager or assistant manager. Sure, they'll give you guidance on that issue. Okay, I'll start out with this. Basically, what we did for the pen jigs is that we made a change. And we put this on a micro adjustment. Before, you have to move this around back and forth and back and forth. Line up. Can you get that shot, Mike?
Yeah.
Line up into the slots. Get yourself an approximate location that you need. Lock it down. And these two micro adjustments right here, this will move you side to side to get that tight adjustment and that very critical light adjustment. So this moves you left, right, this moves you in and out. This way you can get a real tight micro adjustment. When would you use that? Well, if I was drilling it down like this, I would use it. And certainly if I was doing a pen and didn't want to use a lathe, I could use it. Any questions on this? There are 3 of these, they're right out here on the wall. To remove it, loosen up, take it out, and you're good to go. The fence is adjustable. You can, this is a fixed point, this is slide, so you can move the fence any way you want. This fence is also reversible. The purpose for the notch is when you're drilling with a small drill bit, you're drilling a small piece that's close to the fence, this way the chuck doesn't hit the fence itself. If you take a look at the old wooden fences, you'll see they're all gouged out. That's because the chuck is hitting the fences. That's the purpose of the notch. If you need a full fence, you can certainly remove this and flip it around. And then you have a full fence. We have hold-down clamps. We have 2 sizes, large ones and small ones. Too far away. I'll clamp down, it's that simple. One of the purposes of this table, it gives you an infinite clamping ability. Sometimes in the past, if you saw some of our old tables, you saw that you were limited where you can get a clamp down. It always didn't fit the piece you were working on. You can also clamp directly to the fence. Use the small one here. So I can clamp it to the fence like so. If I need to clamp down this way, I can clamp down that as well. I don't have the size that will show you here, but I can clamp the piece down as well. Like so, right off the fence. So as long as the fence is tight for the table, you can clamp directly to the fence. There are also a number of stops. That's what these are here. You can use this as a mechanism for clamping as well, but if you have repetitive drilling, you can use this as a stop. So you can constantly get a repetitive dimension. You don't have to constantly adjust it. Next piece, we set up some clamps. If you don't know how to use these clamps, open and close. This is a small one that's easy to do. When you use the large ones, be careful that you don't hit yourself in the wrist with it. It will hurt, I guarantee it. Okay, so if you don't know, this clamp is not the force. This back clamp is the one that gives you the clamping force, and I will show you in a moment. Take the fence off. Clamp this down to the table, find your center where you need to or wherever you need to drill, and you're good to go. If you remembered in the past, you'd use the wood clamps, you clamp down to the wood, and then you find another clamp to the table, and then you find another clamp to the table, and before you knew, you had 50 clamps. That now is gone, okay? These clamps will hold just about anything on here. At the clamping pressure I was talking about, this is the clamp that does the work, not this one. This one gets you to about where you want to be. This is where your force is, right here. We have three sizes of these. Doing a log, didn't know how to clamp the log down? There you go. Same mechanism, same way, it works exactly the same. Slide it in, lock it down, find where you need to drill, and you're good to go. Any questions? Yes?
Where are the clamps kept?
They are kept on the wall, right above the last drill press, all the way on the right, just before the
Because I know the small ones are there.
partition. All three of these, they are painted different so they're not mixed up with any other clamps in the shop. Last thing on this one is very important. With any drill press, it's important that the table is secure. This is the way I took it over this morning. I did not loosen it up. That is not acceptable for drilling. If you're drilling an 1/8" hole, you may not be exactly where you want to be, but if you're using that large force limit, you're going to be in serious trouble. It's important to clamp this down. Make sure it's tight. These are a little bit tight. If you're used to the Powermatics, these take a little bit more force than the Powermatics did. Make sure it's secure. Okay? Additionally, when you need to lower and raise the table, make sure to loosen this. Don't try to do it with it tight. Okay, you will cause damage to the rack on the drill press. Actually, there's enough force that actually buckles this. And then maintenance becomes very unhappy. We don't want an unhappy maintenance department, do we? Okay, any other questions?
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
I noticed some people having trouble when they're raising and lowering it because there's a little space in there for the
Right.
handle to turn, so it's kind of like a knuckle buster.
It can be. That's why we have extended handles on a couple of these.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, you be gentle. This one, oddly enough, the handles came through and all three drill presses had all three different handles. And the one that's on this drill press actually came from the Powermatic. Unfortunately, the new Powermatic handles, I can't get the old handles. I try to get the old ones to put on the DVR machines, but they no longer make the old handles. They make the new handles, and the new handles don't work on these. So we made some of our own handles. So it does give you the ability to grab it right at the end of the handle without hitting your knuckles. Any other questions? Okay, if you have any questions on clamping, see me afterwards, see any of the the drill press instructors, they'll be able to answer your questions.